Fine day to you. Let's start a new game. This has turned out to be some medieval escapism that I never knew I needed. Join me as I customise my lordly visage, exercise my will over Mother Nature, support, victimise and terrorise the local villagers, prioritise and negotiate the civic ongoings in a burgeoning young town. Thomas here has never been so glad to be part of my journey. I'll build and organise my way to a lordship in a new land. If you don't know what to expect already, I will be your guide in a medieval world. So, with your help, either this is a complete success or a total failure. Either way, this is Nobel Legacy, and I am Lord Bara. This is going to be the look that I'm rocking. My lordly vibe, the youngsters would say. I didn't actually look at the character creator when I did my early access review of this. And it's surprisingly in-depth. There's a lot of customization that you can do. Your height, your build, your eye colour and hair colour, and there's loads of different hairstyles and all that stuff that you kind of come to expect but isn't always included. This has it all, believe it or not. And on top of that, it's got a whole plethora of different tunics that you can style out. And some of them are a bit rustic looking, and some of them are pretty epic. I mean, I like the leather one the best, if I'm honest. Actually, there's a couple of leather ones, but this is the one that I like, kind of chest out. Very roguish. And you can even change the colours on it. It's surprisingly well detailed. I don't know why I'm so surprised. Everything's amazing nowadays. Anyway, let's stop gushing over my handsome visage and crack on, shall we? When you start a new game here, you just get a basic set of tools. You get like a build hammer, and a sword, and an axe. You also get like a fishing rod and a bow and stuff. And you can just use them straight off the bat. And you also get access to the entire map, which is immense. And also a little overwhelming. One of the cool features in this game is you get this third person view. And I am seriously loving this feature, if I'm honest. Gives you a serious sense of command over what's going on. Look, it's pretty limited in what you can do. I mean, you can see lots of icons everywhere. But this title is trying to cross over city builder and RPG. And this is kind of the city builder elements to it. And I love it. I tried to find the edge of this map. I gave up. I just gave up. It was too far. I really hope that Team 369, who are the developers of this, watch these videos. If you do, fine day to you. These are going to serve as my creative... Oh, look, here's a mine. These videos are going to serve as my creative suggestions, so feel free to take notes. And the first note I want you to take is I want to see this third-person mode fully fleshed out. And in my humble opinion, that would give this title the single biggest edge over any other title in the genre. By which I mean it needs to be interactive, not just icons. Anyway, I'm going to stop rambling over that for a moment because what I want to do is just get on with things, and the first thing you need to do is gather some resources. So I'm going to run around here a little bit and just chop some wood. Okay, so I've got an inventory full of wood now. That was like 3 or 4 trees I think I felled. And that should be enough to build the first couple of important buildings that you need to get your village up and running. And as you can see right now, there's nothing here at all. But I know from doing the tutorial that there are 2 main buildings that I need to get up straight away. That's the woodcutter and the forager. Now, seeing as there's only me here, I'm going to do the woodcutter first because I'll be able to turn this raw log into planks, which will enable me to build other things. You know, I wasn't sure about this building system when I first used it, and to be honest, it does still need some refinement, but it's kind of grown on me, especially now that I've got my head around using it in this third-person view. I can see some real potential here, which is why I say that this view, this kind of building view that I'm in now, needs to be developed further. I need to be able to click on the buildings and get pop-ups, and click on the icons and get pop-ups, and be able to interact with them in the kind of normal city builders fashion. That's what my intuition wants me to do, but you can't do that at the moment, which is a little bit frustrating. But anyway, what I'm going to do right now is just build something super simple. I'm just going to build a box, really. I'm going to build a box that's not quite a box. What I mean, I'm going to enclose part of it, and I'm going to put the... there are workstations that need to go in the buildings before the buildings become the buildings that they're going to become. I hope you're all following along. So the way that the system works is you first build a building, whatever it is that you build, and then you go into the build menu and you put workstations. In this case, I'm going to put the woodcutter's bench. I forget what it's called, and a log pile in there, and then it becomes the log wood cabin, the woodcutter lodge, something like that. And then you can assign people to work in there and all that other stuff, and you can improve it and upgrade it and whatnot. But what I've decided to do after looking around the area a little bit is I wanted to put it in the middle of this area, this clearing. Now that might turn out to be a bad idea, but I'm going to do that because I'm going to be running back and forth from here quite often, and so I want it to be in the center of town so that it's easy access. And if I need to move it later on, then I will. But now that it's up and running, I can turn this lumber into planks. And that took way longer than you just saw there. I think I actually went away and made a cup of tea while that was happening, because I'd already harvested loads and loads of logs, and I just wanted to not have to worry about logs and planks for a while and just happily build stuff. So I just walked away. Anyway, now that that's built, what I want to do is kind of finish this shack off now that I've got the planks that I need to be able to build these other build pieces, which are a little bit more complicated. They require logs and planks. One of them is these kind of balustrade, or these fences, which can be freely placed anywhere, and they can also be snapped to other building parts, which I'm kind of struggling to do a little bit here, but I do figure it out. I know it's not a complicated looking building or anything like that. I just needed something up and running so I can carry on and do the rest of the stuff that I need to do. And as you can see, there are tons of options, and there are different materials, which none of which I've unlocked. I've only got these basic planks and logs features at the moment. So I'm definitely looking forward to starting some mining and getting some different materials in the mix as well. But I think that'll do for the log cabin. Eventually, there'll be 2 people that work in here, so the first thing that I want to do now is provide those people a place to live. My first villagers. I'm going to use this road here, and I'm going to put maybe 2 or 3 houses that just follow the curve of it. These roads are all pre-drawn on the map, but you can draw your own roads, at least once you've unlocked the building that you need to be able to do it. So I'm not going to spend time building every individual house, because I'm going to need a few of them, which is another great thing about this build system, is that there's kind of prefabricated buildings that you can just pluck and plop like I'm doing now, and you can also get those from other players that have uploaded their designs. This small house is the stock one from the developers, but looking on the Steam page, there's some pretty nice designs already. I'm going to have a go at building my own at some point. But the next thing that I want to do is get the forager's hut put down. They're going to go out and pick those juicy berries that apparently all people have, throughout all of history, have been surviving on. I don't know why we're still using this mechanic, it makes me laugh. I suppose you've got to start somewhere. So let's start with a single foundation to start off our forager hut. And I'm going to put it just behind the woodcutters as well. There's kind of a patch of ground there that's kind of browned out. I think what I'll do is I'll expand the forager's hut at some point in the future as well, and I'll turn that brown patch into kind of the forager's whole land plot. There's a lot of decoration available in the build assets as well, so also looking forward to making it more filled in and kind of more realistic. But obviously what I want to do right now is just get things up and running, so let's just build this forager. Before I finish this off though, I will just show you that when you, to complete the building, you just place this basket down and then voila, it's now a forager's hut. And I can do the same as that I've done on the woodcutters and kind of finish off this outside area with a bit of fencing just to make it look more interesting. Oh, and obviously finish off the interior by closing it off. And inside, I want to show you that you can decorate. In fact, it's a requirement of the villagers that will come that some of the houses are decorated inside. Otherwise, they won't use them or they won't live in them. I'm just going to go with a table and a candle, but you can get pretty wild with that. Ah, lovely. Nice and homely. Alright, what's next? Okay, it's Easter and we've got the basics and some employment, so let's have a look and see if there's anyone willing to join our settlement. Well, we've got 3 victims here, Elizabeth, Annabelle and Alexander. There's a lot to say on this, in fact, but they fall under the recruits tab at the top of the screen. In there you can see there's a bunch of tabs. They are in recruits, and they've all got their own character differences. For example, Alexander is fraternal, and that's a 10% buff to male co-workers. And you can get buffs and debuffs, and they also have likes and dislikes. And when you've selected who you want, you have to negotiate terms with them. Now, Elizabeth has her own backstory here. It says she's a peasant, and her backstory describes why she has this character trait of a wanderer. So she was raised in a family of night watchmen, and she's dabbled herself, which has given her an unnatural ability to survive in the dark. Alright, what you do is you make an offer in gold, so you need to have the gold available, and you start with 200 and you can put the price right up. And the way that I am understanding it right now is as long as it's like over 55%, so over half that bar, they'll accept it. Right, I think Alexander is the next one to look at, but if you look at Annabelle, she is greyed out. I can't negotiate with her at the minute, and that's because she requires a library, and obviously I haven't built a library yet, so she's not interested in coming to us. Alexander, on the other hand, he's a gentle giant and he lives life to the fullest. And when he's not working, he's helpful and jovial in the tavern. Sounds like a jolly fellow. Let's see how much he will accept to come and join us. That looks about 55%. Oh, that's too much. That's like 80, 90. Let's try this. Oh, rejected. Forget Alexander, I never liked him anyway. I've got Elizabeth, and now that I've got one villager, I can have a look at it here in the villagers list, and I can find out about her needs and wants and stuff, and I can go over to the buildings tab, and I can first of all make sure that she's got a house, otherwise she'll get unhappy. So she's going to be living in one of those, in that middle house that I've built. And I have a choice now, because I've got a woodcutter and a forager built. I could put her in either, but she is going to go into the forager. I'll deal with woodcutting for the time being. that recruitment pool comes around once a month, I think. So I'll get a new selection. But here's Elizabeth now. Hi, Elizabeth. I could just say hi to her, or I can even talk to her. Hello. She's going to give me quests and stuff later on. Right now, she doesn't have much to say, but I could just engage in a conversation. This is completely blown my mind. Apparently, you can have a conversation with them, but it's not working. You need something called an API, which I think stands for another pointless interface. And until that's working, you can't really do anything with this. So I can send her a message, but she has infinite waiting time. It'll be interesting to see if this comes to anything. I hope it does. It's a bit pointless at the minute. Bye, Elizabeth. Go and pick some berries for me. Okay, next thing on my list to do is build a storehouse and a library. And I think I'm going to do the library first because that unlocks the ability to do research. And there's a whole bunch of research trees, and I want to be able to unlock other buildings. So in order to do that, I'm going to need the library first. Because a library or a civic hall, I suppose, it's a civic type building, is a fairly auspicious building. I'm going to place it right in the center of town here, and I'm going to make it look slightly fancier than the other buildings are right now, just by giving it a slightly different overall shape. I will come back and redevelop this at some point, but for now I just want it to just stand out a little bit, but not spend too much time in it because I've got other things to do. Apparently it just needs that desk and then it operates. So let's get some roof on it and finish it off. It must have taken me a while to do that because my recruits pool has replenished. Now here's Margaret. She's a loner, but she's disciplined. And she is not a peasant either, so she's going to be able to work in this library, which is nice. As you can see there in the top right, it says Margaret is a tradesman. She's got this little tradesman orange symbol, which is pretty nice. But she's a young mother. She's had a little bit of tragedy, and she's prone to emotional outbursts. Any young mothers out there will be able to appreciate that, I'm sure. Come and join the town, Margaret. Oh, it's Alexander back again. I'll try not to mess it up this time. I'm not going to go crazy, but you know. Was 15 gold expensive? Seems expensive for a drunkard. Anyway. Let's make sure that they've got some housing. I'm going to put the two girls together. So Elizabeth and Margaret will be bunked. Hopefully Margaret's okay with that because it did say that she's a loner, but we'll see how that turns out. I think Alexander's going to be fine with whoever, but he's going to get a house to himself for the time being. So, as far as I'm aware, because the villagers have different traits, they're going to interact with each other in interesting and unique ways. I could put Margaret straight to work in the library, but I haven't actually assigned anything to research yet, and I haven't even finished the building, despite this message. I mean, technically it's finished, so I've reached a new stage of the town, but I still want to fill the gaps in and whatnot. I like this slightly larger porch. It feels very welcoming and warm here. Now, because this is the center of the town, I wanted to just try whether or not I could use this notice board, or whether it needs its own building entirely. This is the town hall notice board, and there's going to be some various interactions with this, but I wanted to know whether or not it would work if it just stands alone here and kind of you kill two birds with one stone. Have a library / town hall area. That's a shame. It's kind of coming up with a little yellow road sign icon. So either there's been a fender bender or that's not going to work. Shame. I really like it there. Oh well, I'll get rid of it for now and I'll have to build its own building at some point. Maybe I could kind of make a very small building and kind of blend it in. I think I might be able to fit it down the side there. Anyway, let's not get distracted. I've got my houses here and I've got my library. I've got my 2 production buildings, a forager and a woodcutter. Next thing I need to build is not a fishing jetty. I'm going to get to that in a minute. A storage house. There we go. This is a massive building. I'm going to need to go and chop a little bit more wood for that though. Hold on. I bet I don't need to do that because I've got somebody working now in the woodcutters. There we go. He's been filling up the log pile with both wood, logs, and planks. I forgot the word for planks then. Flat pieces of wood, I nearly said. Here we've got somebody, Ethel. She's not... Oh, Ethel is a not a villager. She's a visitor. So these are the people that you're going to make money out of. Once I've set up and I have running a marketplace, these visitors will come and spend coin at my marketplace. The only thing that I have to sell really at the moment would be foraged mushrooms and berries. And until I build this storage house, I can't sell planks either. So I think I'm going to be able to sell planks here. Now, I'm going to have... This is a large building, obviously, and it takes up a large space. And I'm going to have this take up this kind of area here at the back. I'm considering this to be the back of the town, so not towards the waterfront. I'd like to see if I've got some more recruits. Here we go. Greta and Theobald. Greta is a foodie and a homebody, and Theobald is simple and an angler. He's going to come in handy, isn't he? He's a peasant, but he's also an angler. So if I get that fishing researched, foodie is just a buff. She'll 20% less food. That's good. Recruited. That's 2 new victims. I can't get this guy because I don't have a tavern. That's a shame. Right, let's put Greta as another forager. Let's hope she doesn't eat everything. Oh no, she's a foodie. She's going to buff my food, or buff her food. Now, I guess what I want to do is get this research up and running. So let's put Margaret as the librarian for now. She's my only tradesman, so she's the only one that could do the library and the storehouse. But I really want to get this fishing jetty researched. The fishing is... I'm not sure why these are split up into different pages. This is all kind of very placeholdery, isn't it? But it's in the homestead section of the progression, and it's just jetty and rack. Apparently, and you just hit research, and now that she's working in the library, it should research all nicely. And while she's doing that, let's run over and have a look at our storehouse we just built. It is a big building, isn't it, compared to everything else? I like its design. I like its front porch with these large supports at the front. Those of you that are still in the video watching and with a keen eye will notice that at the top right of the corner it tells me what items I need to have in the building in order to call it a storehouse. And the first one is this big selection of boxes and barrels. That basically functions as an inventory. It's where you drop the items that you want to be sold in there. And the other one is another desk here, which you can't interact with. I don't know what's going on with this, but you need it in order for it to operate. And ta-da! New storehouse built. I feel like I should be able to interact with this desk, do something with it, but you can't. Whatever I want to sell, I drop in there. But I don't have anybody to work in here right now, so let's go and mark out where we want our market to be. I know it's just the basics, but this is starting to come along. We've got some houses and some other things going on. The market stalls, honestly, just this farmer's stall. There's not a lot to it. But you still need somebody to work here. I want to place it by hand this time. I feel like something like this needs to be a bit more up close and personal. So let's just grab a market stall. I don't know whether or not I would use all of them, but I'd like to have like lots of them to make it feel like it's like a market square. Let's have one directly opposite that one. I've run out of materials. It's gone yellow. Never mind. Just in time though, because my jetty and rack has finished researching. Seeing as I don't actually have anybody to work in the market stalls right now, I'm going to go ahead and build this jetty because I'm really excited about it. I don't know why. I don't even like fishing in real life. Sorry if I just offended anybody that's really into fishing. I'm actually a bit scared to try to build one of these buildings myself because I haven't tried. I need materials. I haven't actually tried to build anything over the water yet. I'm sure it's fine, especially with that this third-person view that you get. But I'm just going to use the prefabricated building and use the stock one just to get up and running. I think what I'd like to do is have this much larger building at some point and kind of turn it into something a little bit grander. But I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm just going to put this down and have it facing the icon as best I can. I don't know why, but it feels like the right thing to do. Nice. Here's the inventory, the fishing rack, where you place the fish that you want to be sold or used in the market. And don't forget that I actually have a fisherman available, so let's put him to work straight away. Theobald, wasn't it? I can check that here by looking at the villager and details. Angler, yes, it is Theobald. So yes, he can go to work in the fishery. Lovely. Make sure everybody's got a house. And also, while I'm here, I've just remembered that I left Margaret working in the library, didn't I? And she's not actually researching at the moment. I think she'll be better placed working in the storehouse. So I'll be able to set that up at some point and sell some planks and actually start making some gold. And let's have a look, see if there's anybody else available. We have 2 new recruits. Here's Thomas. He looks incredibly cheerful. He's also a drunkard, but he's lethal. I'm going to need some muscle at some point. So let's get some now while it's available. You do get attacked by bandits and thieves and stuff in this, so you need to watch out. Good thing about Thomas is he is also a tradesman, so I'm going to put him back in the library. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to put him back in the library because I've seen a couple of the villages that had a requirement for a tavern. So let's try to find the tavern and research that as well while we're at it. Could do this weapon rack, but I'm not quite sure what for. Yeah, bar and cookpot. Yeah, I'm looking forward to building a tavern. I think I might collect up a bunch of resources for that and spend a bit of time. Once I get to a hamlet, I'll be able to get this furnace, and which means I'm going to need some mining and things. I don't honestly know how that works yet, but that'll be fun when I get there. I'll be able to build a blacksmith. Ooh, this is exciting, you know? I'm looking forward to be able to build out, flesh out a town, and kind of do it in this hybrid between this first person or third person and then this city builder bird's eye view as well. Pretty interesting that you can do all of the tasks yourself. I'm not quite sure what the point of doing them is, because although you can do it and spend time doing it, which is nice, the animations are quite lovely, as you can see. But once you've assigned somebody to work, so here comes Theobald, he can fish way more than I can fish. And he will put stocks in and we can start working on our economy. And that's something to figure out. I still need to set up the storehouse for buying and selling. I still need to set up the market so that people can get the goods that they need people working in there. And also the visitors can use it so that we can start generating some income from the market as well. But I'm afraid, for the time being, that is all I've got time for. So on a scale of fish to cheese in the comments, let me know just how excited you are to see this grow. And any suggestions you might have, feel free to let me know. But for now, the time has run, and my oh my have we had fun. So until next time, I'll just say thanks for watching, thanks for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe. This has been Nobel Legacy, and I have been Lord Bara.